I'm Andrew Harrison.
I'm Martin Ball.
And this is In the Box Seat without Warren Lenfurner. My guest today is Martin Ball. He's the head riding master at the South African Jockey Academy. Martin, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Martin, now that we haven't got Warren here, and he rewinds to the beginning, can we rewind to the beginning?
Yeah.
Where did you come from?
I was born in Zimbabwe. Grew up there for first 8 years of my life. Sorry, during the recording of the podcast, I didn't mention my amazing parents and my awesome sisters. I have a wonderful family. I've been supported throughout all my decisions and whatever I've done by amazing parents and two wonderful sisters, and I don't know what I would do without them. Thank you so much, and sorry, back to the show. And then my folks and us, we moved to Cape Town. Lived in Rosebank in the beginning. Went to Rondebosch Boys, and then went to Rondebosch Boys High. There afterwards, I joined the Jockey Academy in 1986.
How did you get to the academy? How did you?
Funny enough, my dad's brother-in-law, Tiki Dalton, ran the Zimbabwe Jockey Academy. And on weekends and everything like that, I used to play with my cousin, Kingsley. And so I used to spend quite a lot of time there, going racing, running around, Borrowdale Racecourse. Funny enough, Sharon Patterson's son and Reed Patterson's son was round about same age. We used to all run around there together on the grass, watching races, and that's when my love for racing started.
And okay, so you went to the academy. Who were the riding masters at that time?
When I joined the academy here in Durban, I was lucky enough to have the great Cyril Buckham teach me in his last year, and legend, another legend, Vincent Curtis.
Right.
Who I still get on with today. We have calls.
Vince is back. I think we must get him on the show sometime.
Yeah, I think it would be a great idea. David Cavey.
Yeah, Skunky. He was there 2 years.
He was there as well. So we had a good grounding.
Right, and who were you in your year? Who were the blokes there?
Well, in my year we started with 17. By the end of the year there were only 4 of us left.
So it was a good year.
Yeah. Produced some of the best guys. Douglas White, he was in my year.
Okay.
Stuart Randolph, Willie Reese, and myself. There were 4 of us left.
4 of you left.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
So
I still remember when I was still a laddie in those days too. I just started racing. I saw the press box at Scottsville when there was still a press box, and there were still press people around who used to write for the newspapers. I saw this bloody big horse going down to the start with this little pimple on his back, and I said, "Who's that?" They said, "No, Martin Ball. He's a new apprentice." Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a bit bigger since then. Huh?
Yes, I have, and round.
I can't say that either.
I started a lot of my work in the beginning was at Ashburton, where I used to ride a lot for Nick Feltman, Vaughan Marshall. Vaughan Marshall gave me my first ride.
Okay.
Actually, I won't forget, and that was the brass bell. I got beat short head, and the winner was the Mighty Matchbox.
Okay.
So that was a great start to my racing career. But it was lovely. In my first year, the academy was awesome. It was completely different to Rondebosch Boys.
No, I'm sure it was. Yes. Yeah.
But it was very nice. Very nice.
Okay. Then from there, I mean, once you graduated, what was your first winner, by the way?
My first winner was for Vaughan Marshall, Corazon, in his all men's colours.
At Scottsville?
Yes, at Scottsville.
Everybody wins at Scottsville.
Yes, and funny enough, I didn't even go into the winner's box. Striker, Pierce Stradham.
Yeah.
He thought he got me on the line, so he went into the winner's box. I went to the second box, so all my pictures are in the second box of me carrying a big 10-pound saddle and whole lead bag. And
how much did you weigh in those days?
In those days, I think when I started riding, when I started racing, I think I was 37.
37.
37 kgs, yeah. We weren't
like
allowed.
Poor old bloody Umfanelo Zuma.
Yeah, we weren't allowed coming into the academy over the.
They were strict in those days,
yes, over the weight of 34. That was the limit.
Okay.
So
they used to measure your feet and
yes, size 3 shoe. Yeah. They used to they preferred looking at your mom, because they always say men are supposed to grow taller than their mothers. So luckily mine was short. And the rest was history. Once I left that interview and got on the bus, shipped to the academy, that was it.
Tell me, in those days you used to be apprentice to different trainers. Well, not apprentice, but you used to ride for certain trainers.
Yes. In the beginning, when you were in your first, second and third year, because you got schooling, you got to finish your matric and everything, then, you don't have too much stable time in the afternoon. But once you were past your schooling years, you were assigned to a stable. I know when I left here, end of my third year, I was assigned to Ralph Rickson in Cape Town. Yes, a big eye-opener.
Yeah, that must have been an eye-opener, yeah.
Yes, I went to the Jockey Academy in Cape Town after I'd passed my matric year. My dad made me do matric. I wanted to leave.
For him.
Yeah. Now, very good decision.
Yeah.
I wanted to leave obviously a lot earlier. But went to Cape Town end of my third year, got assigned to Ralph Rickson. Went to the academy there. We had, Mr. and Mrs. Pereira, who looked after us. And then after that, we had Lynn and Dickie Roberts. So we had I had a great last 2 years in Cape Town.
So Mr. Rickson must have been quite a sort of steep learning curve, because he wasn't an easy bloke to get on with.
No, very hard. But in the long run, it was the best way to learn. We used to get dropped off at 5 a.m. from the academy bus in Philippi at his farm there, and all the Philippi appies used to get dropped off at that time. And then we used to be left there. So I stayed on the farm the whole day and got collected at 5 o'clock in the evening. So, we did a lot of work.
But you rode for some legends in Cape Town, apart from Ralph. I mean, was Dickie Dalton you rode for?
No, Dickie Dalton, Gerrit Basson used to ride for him.
Okay.
I did ride a bit for him, but I rode for Ralph Rickson, obviously.
Eric Sands?
Eric Sands, yes. I did ride a bit for Millard. Rode for Woodruff, had the winners for him. And I was very fortunate to, after I left Mr. Rickson, I didn't stay there too long. I was there for about 3-4 months and doing all the graft. And then, you run, you ride a horse while run second. Carl Nisius was on it next time.
Right.
A stable boy at the time. So I spoke to the stipendiary board in those days, and our welfare officer was Mr. Seymour. And I said, please could I move? Not that you want to leave a big yard like that. And he came the following week and said, Monday you're starting with Colin Burrows. And what a difference. I mean, legend to me.
Yeah.
Best boss I ever had.
I remember Colin Burrows when I was at varsity. He was training then, yeah.
Yeah,
he had some decent sort of horses there.
No, he did.
Yeah.
He had Thundercat.
That's right.
Very, very good sprinter. And I was privileged that he trusted me, and I was basically a stable jockey as an appy. So I got to ride most of the horses all the time. And then after that, I rode plenty winners for Mr. Rickson. I think
pressure was off there,
I think he was just waiting to see if I could crack a win or two in Cape Town, and then after that, then he used me a lot, and his another legend, his son Guy Rickson,
right,
rode a lot of winners for him too.
But you also you were telling me stories the other day about you rode a couple of dills in Cape Town, right?
Yeah, there were a few. One that comes to mind was for Eric Sands. Duncan Howes is training here in Ashburton. We have a laugh every now and then. He used to work it, and I used to ride it on race day.
Duncan was work rider he worked for Eric for quite a while, yes.
Yeah.
So you go back a few years, eh?
Yeah, I was assistant trainer to Eric, and that's where I met Duncan.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've known him for 30 odd years, so we have a good chat and banter at Ashburton every morning.
And the horse's name?
Oof. I don't know, I can't be exact. I know it was a grey. The number was 23.
Well, you didn't know the names of those days.
No.
23.
Yes,
yeah.
But I was privileged not to having to ride it on at track, but only in the race. Duncan did all the hard work.
But you've been through the sort of university of racing. I mean, you started off as an apprentice jockey, a jockey, and then after Cape Town, you moved to Zim.
Yes, in 95, I was actually riding for Peter Muscutt at the time. And
was he in Cape Town then?
He was in Cape Town. He was
Right.
training. He was training in Cape Town, and they had that terrible plane disaster
Oh, right.
in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And his old man was going to, hand it over to Pete in Zim, and he asked me if I'd like to go back with him. So, we were having a great run at the time, and I thought, what an opportunity to go back where I was born. The family were all still there. My folks had moved back to Cape Town because we still had a business there, a florist shop that did very well. So they moved back in, just before I came out of my apprenticeship in 1990 or 91, whatever it was. And they moved back to Zim, so I moved back to Zim and stayed there.
Okay. So you rode in, you started riding in Zim?
Yes, I rode in Zim for quite a while. Before that, when I was a kid in the academy, I mean, that's where I met Robert Moore. He was an apprentice then. Stuart Pettigrew was an apprentice at the same time. So, I knew quite a few of the guys when I went back. I know Stuart had left already. He had gone to Joburg, I think. But Robert was still there. And, we all got on. It was a great atmosphere in Zim.
And Zim racing was strong in those days.
Very strong.
They had some good horses too.
Yeah, they did. I mean, Strike Rich, the Toff, all came out of there in
That's
those
right,
days.
Yeah. Numerator, I think, also came from there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Chesterfield even came from there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so, some good horses have come out of the Epitombi.
Yeah.
Best filly at one stage
That's
in the
right.
world. So, no, Zimbabwe was awesome. The
So
racing
who did you
was,
ride for them mainly for?
I rode a lot for Ivan Moore.
Right.
Also another great boss that I rode for. Ronnie Watson. I rode a lot for him. But, I stayed in Zim long time. Rode for a lot of people. Glenn French, Shane Rankin, Murray Lindley, Sharon Patterson, when she was training.
Yes, right.
So, a lot of trainers, good trainers. They've all done well in their own right. Also moving, to Joburg and that.
So
Roy Magna,
Yeah.
Sharon Patterson's done well.
Yeah. So when did you give up riding in Zim?
Yes, I did. My own fault really. Not racing as much as we used to.
Yeah.
And, the discipline wasn't there 100% like it should have been. So the weight packed on. And eventually, I just thought, I'm tired of wasting, tired of sweating. And my boss, Ronnie Watson at the time, was actually moving overseas. So he asked me if I'd like to take over the reins of the yard. And so I took that opportunity. And
you took out a trainer's license?
Yes, took out a trainer's license. Trained there for just over 2 seasons. Trained 50 winners.
Okay, so you knew what you were doing.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Look, I've enjoyed every minute riding, training. I miss the riding still, but I miss the wasting.
Yeah, no,
the racing,
tougher.
Yes. And then Peter Patterson, who was chief stop at that time in Zimbabwe, approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in being a stipendiary steward. Just said sure. So started being a stip. And
It's easier than training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have to worry about all the bills and
Yeah.
the wages and everything like that. So then I became a stip, and I eventually ran the Zimbabwe office for about 7 years. And then
That long, eh?
yeah, and then moved to Joburg for 18 months as a stip there before the opportunity came up to be riding master in Durban.
So why'd you turn it up as a stip?
I've always taught kids in Zim. I mean, a lot of the kids I taught as well. I was paid as a riding master in Zim to help.
Okay.
teach the kids there. And when the opportunity came up, and I thought, oh, what a place to go back to, where I started. It's an amazing facility. So I had an interview with Mr. Bailey, Robert Moore, Garth Puller, he was on the board, Mr. Carlisle. And after the interview, they spoke to me and they said, look, if you'd like to take the job, the offer's yours.
Okay.
So I did think about it, because, you know, I did enjoy being a staff, but I think it's better. My heart was in, you know, teaching the kids.
Yeah. What kids who did the top kids that came out of Zim when you were there?
When I was there, they didn't really leave Zim, but I think they've won the jockey championship there. Norbert Takawera. There's another one that's just won the championship there now as well.
Okay. It's hard in Zim now. I mean, there's only a race about every now and then.
Yeah, so, you know, and also...
It's amazing that they keep going.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, and I thought, you know, I need to try and get out of Zim.
Yeah.
It's an amazing country. I wish it was like normal days of racing.
Yeah.
Nobody would have left. But I got out. I was racing in Joburg as a stop, and then obviously, yeah.
Okay, so now you're in the academy. How's it going? Are you enjoying it?
Loving it. Got a great team. You know, got the national riding master Robert, who I get on amazingly with. We discuss things every day. We talk about the appies, and especially after races.
Robert's a bit of a thief, though. He really cherry picks all the good ones.
No. He's different class as well.
Yeah.
You know, he works well with them, and I mean, I think they learn so much from him. He's been all over the world. He was a riding master in Korea.
For a while, yes, yeah.
So, you know, he's got a lot of knowledge that he shares with them, which I think is a bonus.
But definitely, I've seen the apprentices. Sometimes they struggle for rides here, but you know, there's more opportunity in Joburg. But the way Robert brings them on, they improve.
Yes, no, they do. I hate to say it, but yes, no, he does very well with them. You know, but also, you know, I think in Joburg, you know, the kids go there. It's a change. The Clam 4s they love.
Yes, that's a big bonus.
Yes, so they use them quite a lot. And look, I think the kids here as well. I mean, it depends how you crack it. I think if you crack it quickly, you're right. The others take a bit of time, but the penny drops, and eventually they're on their bike,
right.
and it takes off.
Yeah, I think in Joburg too, they've got the Vol straight there, which is a big help.
Yeah, it helps with their qualifying rides. And
whereas when you've got to start them off from when they arrive from wherever they come from.
Yes, and you know, some of them
sort of acclimatise them.
And some of them have never sat on a horse.
Never sat on a horse.
So you know, that's where it's great as well, because we got Nicky. He takes them on in the beginning, you know, lunges them, teaches them to ride. Then you know, he'll hand them over to me once they start going to track. We also discuss at the academy, you know, how they're doing, everything like that. We've got tests that they need to pass to go to certain levels, equisizer test, the indoor arena test, the track test.
Right.
And then
it's not like the old days, they just sling you on and go. If you don't make it, it's tough luck.
Yeah, I was even speaking to Mr. Curtis a while ago, and you know, I said to him, I can't remember being on a lunge.
Yeah.
You know, he said, no, we did do that, but not for too long. So, they had to get on with it quickly.
Yeah, I remember doing, just a long time ago, doing a feature on the academy with Cyril Buckham.
Okay.
Yeah, he was bellowing in the bloke. I mean, Gerrit Schlechter, I remember, he was a blue-eyed boy at the time.
Okay,
So we did the thing is, so the academy it must be quite tough working for those little blokes who try and bring them along the right way.
Yes. Look, I think the group we got now.
They're all sorts of different personalities. Some can take a bit of abuse, others can't.
Yes. But I think the group we got now at the moment, we've got a nice group of kids. They're well mannered, you know, which is a big plus.
I can say that for them.
You know, and they've got a good attitude at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, they're wanting to do it. I think that's a major part of being an apprentice. your attitude. You want to do it or you don't.
Yeah, I know, but it's also up to the riding masters to bring it out. So you're obviously doing a good job then.
Oh, thanks. We try our best.
Because I was very pleased to see old Spare when 2 races the other day, Super Sealer.
Yes, nice kid.
Nice kid.
Very well mannered.
Yeah.
Never moans about anything. You ask him to do something, he does it. But like I say, all the kids at the moment that we have at the academy are doing very well. Well mannered. The attitude's right. Some of them you just wish the penny would drop a little bit quicker, but it will come.
Right. Also, you're a bit limited. I mean, when they start out, it's down the straight at Scottsville. We only go one straight course. So what's it, 10 runs?
Yes,
10 qualifiers.
it's 5 up the straight.
5 up the
yes, but sometimes it's when the kids start to sign their papers. Sometimes some of them crack it at the wrong time of the year where we have a bit of rain or it's their spring spring treatment. So you lose quite a few meetings and the kids have to wait a bit longer. But now with the Appy races sometimes in Joburg, it's a help, because we send them up there to maybe qualify.
Yeah.
So.
Tell me, what sort of, you've got a person like Rachel Vineker. I mean, she's made a big splash.
Yeah, she has.
What makes her what she is at the moment? Can you sort of explain?
I think her background as well. She came from a horsey background.
Yeah.
She's written a lot of work before she came to the camp, but she has worked exceptionally hard.
Yeah.
And she is dedicated. That is one thing you can say about her. She's driven, and she wants to do better all the time. Great mentor, Michael Roberts, who's helping her. So she started off well, and she's keeping it going. She hasn't stopped.
But you can have all those opportunities and mentors and all that, but she's just got something that horses run for her.
Yeah, look,
it's a bit like Andrew Fortune in those days. I mean, you sit upside down on a horse and he's
complete difference, sir.
Yeah.
The thing is, she gets down low, she pushes right up the horse's neck, she uses her brain. I watched her ride a horse the other day at Greyville, and stuck to the fence. Everybody went out. She went straight up the middle, towards the inside. Bang, home. She
home.
Yes, and like I said, she's driven. She wants to do well.
Right. So it's a bit of a thing to try and get those blokes to get into the racing brain, basically. I mean,
yes.
You can ride and you got all the attributes, but you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, we also do a lot of race reviews with them. We show them races where they've ridden, where they've gone wrong, where they've ridden a good race. So we go through that every week, and I know Robert goes through it every Friday in Joburg. I go through it every Tuesday, And then also after race meetings, myself and Robert, we have a lot of phone discussions during the week and discuss the appies. I mean, he might not see something that I see, and I might not see something that he sees. So, we have a good relationship like that.
Yeah.
But like we got a great team at the academy. Nicky, Paddy Wynn, he does all the rides. He helps out when one of us are off. But it's a great team. We've got also a bike anaesthetist. We've got the nursing sister. We've got the gym instructor. It's a well-rounded academy.
Yeah, and then you got a proper schooling as well.
Yes, no, the schooling.
Not Paddy O'Connor.
Mr. O'Connor, legend. We loved him. But the schooling's very good.
Yeah.
They've had 100% passes for the last I don't know how many years.
Right.
For their matric. So it's a very good school.
So Mr. Bailey's he's turning it up soon, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. To be honest, he loves the academy.
Yeah.
He's there all the time. I know he's been away on leave.
Yeah, he's dedicated.
Yes, dedicated, and he loves the place and only wants it to do well.
Yeah. And Marty, you've got a son that plays good rugby.
Yes. I got 5 kids.
5 kids.
No power in Zim in those days. My oldest boy, he's in the Kruger. Doing wildlife and everything like that.
Yeah.
similar to what your daughter's doing.
Yeah.
Then my daughter's in Canada. She's a qualified school teacher.
Right.
My other son, he's in Joburg, Tristan. He works with Raza Africa, does all the services of these latest printers, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Owen's finished college now.
He's the
Plays
rugby
rugby,
player.
yes. I played for Collegians here, under 20 first team last season. And then COVID obviously put
He crocked himself though, didn't he?
injured his knee on his last game.
Oh.
But it's given him 6 months to recover, so hopefully he's all right. So I phoned him the other day and said, when you come into practice? He said, I didn't know that started. So, yeah, he's keeping himself busy as well, you know. And then my youngest son, he's in, I think it's grade 9 now. Yeah, he's in grade 9.
Okay.
So, a few more years then we're finished with the schooling and everything.
Yeah. Cost a few bob, yeah.
Yeah.
And the wife, she...
Yes, no, my wife Emma's brilliant. Been together 23 years now.
She's not local though?
No, born in Scotland.
Scotland.
Yes, born in Scotland, but grew up in Zim. That's where we met.
Okay.
And, you know, she's been the backbone of, I don't know where I would have been maybe if I know better. But, no, awesome woman. Works hard, keeps the family in check, and keeps herself busy as well.
No, good. Marty, people like to sort of go back to the old days with the good horses. Which good horses did you ride?
Oh, there's been a lot. I mean, Wanui, Thundercat.
One year was for Guy Rickson.
Yes, Guy Rickson, Thundercat, Colin Burrows. You know, I mean, sat on horses, unbelievable.
Yeah.
When you come to Millard's horses, you know, it's working, riding work on those horses, you could only dream of riding in races.
Must be a bit depressing when you ride work and then you go into a race and
you know you got
a 50-1 chance. Yeah.
You know you got to race ride against that. But you know, Forward Lad, another good horse in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Stay Alert, very good horse.
Yeah.
No, I've ridden my fair share of decent horses.
And your biggest win?
My biggest win, I don't know. I won the Merchants as an apprentice. For Guy on Wanui.
Okay.
I won the OK in Zimbabwe. I won the Guineas in Zimbabwe. I've won a lot of features in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
But the main one I think in Zim was the OK Grand Challenge where I dead-heated with my good friend, my late friend Dewey Williams.
Oh, Dewey, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the only dead heat that's been in the OK.
Okay.
There's never been one before or since. Hope we can both keep that record.
Wonder they I think OK is still going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still going.
Tankard.
You know, the crowd there on OK Day is unbelievable.
Yeah.
They give away prizes and everything like that. In Zim, I think they give away 25 cars on the day.
Sheesh.
So the crowd there
there's no place to drive anymore, so he's parking in the garage.
You know, the crowd there is unbelievable on those sort of days.
Yeah.
You know, Tankard, OK.
What else can we ask you? Speak up, you're through.
I'm not sure. Like I said, you know, I've done most of it in racing. You know, the only thing I haven't done is really been a farrier. But those guys go.
Oh well, you can't put that tank anymore.
No, my back would die.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, I've enjoyed my life. It's been a great ride. You know, there's very
few people in racing that have actually started off as a jockey and or an apprentice and gone right the way through just about to every profession in the game.
Yeah, no, I've been privileged, you know, and you know, coming back to where I started is a whole circle. It's been amazing, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, I think Duncan thinks you must give up.
I confuse him every day.
Confuse him every morning. He doesn't know which horse is what.
Yeah, no. No, look, I think also a big thing, you know, even being a riding master, is having good relations with the trainers.
Right, yes.
You know, I think it's imperative that we need to have good relationship with them. I mean, they putting the kids on the horses. You know, we got to have a good rapport with them. You know, we talk all the time. When I'm at Summerfeld, I walk around the rings, talk to the trainers. When I'm at Ashburton, talk to all the trainers. So, you know, we have a lot of fun too.
No, sure.
Talking a lot of rubbish
Yeah.
some of the
it's a
time.
good comedy show in
But
the morning. You know.
Yeah, but
it's good. It's work.
It is, and you know, if you can get along with everybody, that's a bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Marty, thanks very much for coming in.
that's a pleasure.
We covered just about everything.
And thanks so
And,
much for having me. Been
No, it's
awesome.
an absolute pleasure. We always like to speak to people who know what they're talking about.
Ah, thanks. I hope I do. Thanks
Good,
so
well,
much.
That's out. That's the end of the show, and I hope Warren watches this. He wasn't talking as much as him, and that's a wrap for it. So, and also we'd like if you watch the show and got questions, please follow us on Facebook, and just give us some rapport. Thanks very much, and that's the end of it.